Good morning, Giants. This morning I want to talk about control and the sense of control and the illusion of control. A good friend of mine, Stephen McGee, talked about the illusion of control and how it was disrupted through this whole event. I want to talk about the things that we can control and then also talk about, just how do we manage when things feel out of control. And, control is something that we use to try and feel safe and secure. And so when there's an environment like this, where the world is a bit chaotic, jobs are uncertain, the environment is uncertain, the economy is uncertain, our health is uncertain. Good morning, Stevie. We tend to want to control the outcome. I saw a quote this morning from somebody that survived the Spanish flu. It was a 102-year-old woman, and she said, you make a list of the things that you can control, and you work on those, and you let the rest be. And I think what we have a tendency to do is to try and control the entire outcome, and it's not feasible. What we do have control over are our behaviors, our actions, our thoughts, our words, and we get to choose where we place those. I think of work. I still go to work every morning, and while I work on this book, and there's a lot to do around it. It seems overwhelming at times, the amount of work that needs to be done for this to make it out into the world. And what I can control are my actions and behaviors around what I do each morning, who I talk to. Doing these videos, I can control that. But the outcome of it, I don't really have a say in. I might be able to influence it in some degree, but at the end of the day, the outcome is going to be the outcome. But my activity leads to a probability that the outcome could be what I have in mind. And so that's kind of trusting that the outcome will be in line with what I have in mind. And that's not always a guarantee. I think what we look for when we look for control is a guarantee. There are no guarantees. This life isn't about guarantees. This life is about doing our part and doing what we can, but there's no guarantee of the outcome. But doing certain behaviors increases the likelihood of a certain outcome. If I have a negative attitude, it's pretty likely that things are going to turn out pretty negatively. If I focus in on the negative, if I want to control, where my attention goes, and I want to put it on the news and the negative and fighting, and it's this guy's fault and that guy's fault, and this lady said that and this lady did that, then I'm going to see more of that in my life. Because really, at the end of the day, I get to choose where I put my attention. And so that's something that I can control. Today, as I work on this book, I can't control it if it becomes a bestseller or not. It's out of my hands. What I can control is my activity each day. I have a Kickstarter that I'm working on, and then that Kickstarter, I've got to do marketing and promotion and publicity. And it may or may not work. But if I stop and say, it's not worth it, and I don't put any effort into it, that's in my control. I can control, who I talk to throughout the day, what posts I put up. If I do a press release or anything like that, that's within my control. So I think that's the sense I want to talk about, is that we have a chance to control our attitudes about the situation, and we have a sense of controlling the little things around what we do each day. And it's in doing those little things that we create big outcomes. But again, they're not guaranteed. So being okay with what is allows us to relax when things feel chaotic. They feel chaotic when we want to control the outcome. And I feel like it's this case of we don't want any of this to happen. This isn't okay. This shouldn't be happening to me. This shouldn't be happening to the world. And we want to control that. And then our attitude becomes, this is bullcrap. I don't want to do this. And then in that negativity, we take on little behaviors and thoughts that create more of the negativity. I don't know very many people who haven't been through hard things. And the biggest thing that I've seen that distinguishes the ones that succeed through it and the ones that become overwhelmed by it is their attitude around it, how they feel. Is it going to define them, or is it, it just is what it is, and let's figure out a solution as much as we can. As I think about people out there. I saw a post this morning from somebody that posted their view of what's occurring, and it doesn't align with what a lot of people think about the virus and the news and the media and what's going on. And in doing that, she raised a stink with somebody else who disagreed with her but couldn't hold the two opposing arguments in the same space, and decided that they would no longer be friends because this person had an opposing view. And this person could have, this friend of mine could have could have attacked and jumped in and jumped down this person's throat, but instead chose not to. And that other person did get into a space of attacking and belittling and doing these things that made my friend feel somewhat small, which goes in line with my book. If people disagree in the world of the smalls belittle. They make you feel small. They make you feel dumb, like you can't do things. Instead of just appreciating the questions and appreciating the possibility of something different from what they see. There's a lot of unknowns right now, and I think a lot of us are trying to make sense of it and control it and feel better about what's going on, and create this hope that, oh, it's going to be over in a week or two, it's going to be over in a month or two. What if it's not? Are you going to be okay? Are you going to choose to have an attitude that makes it okay and still create? There's an opportunity right here to really create something amazing through all of this. Good morning, Teresa. It's your attitude. Your attitude dictates. If you get spun up in the negativity, that's a choice. That's something that you can control. I don't know, just a thought, a little bit random here, but the idea is look at your attitude throughout the day. What can you control in your space? What behaviors, what thoughts, what attitude can you take on that would help you to create the life that you really want through all this, regardless of all of this? This is occurring. That is out of our control. What you do with it is within your control. And so I think that's the message I want to portray today is go out there and create today, even in a small degree. Check your attitude consistently throughout the day. How are you approaching this? How are you feeling about it throughout the day? What thoughts and behaviors can you take on that would get you to your goal, regardless of what's going on? And I see people on here. I wish you guys could see everybody that shows up on these. But I see people that are working diligently to create things right now, regardless of the situation, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's the way to go. To allow the situation to be what it is, and this goes back to our emotions too, to allow difficult emotions to be what they are, to be present, and to create regardless of them. To not jump into the flood. I talked about, I'm going to jump into this real quick, salmonic action, something I made up about salmon, the fish. That salmon have the ability in the roughest of water to hold perfectly still. And then at the moment of opportunity, they can race forward at lightning speed. And so what's interesting about the salmon is they don't float downstream if something goes wrong. Even a dead fish can swim downstream. But what salmon do is that if there's danger or opportunity, what they do is they bolt lightning speed upstream against the current. And what we're seeing right now in the world is this current of negativity that's just flooding at us, and we can get involved in it and float downstream with it. But we have an opportunity to just stay still, like the salmon, salmonic action. It's made up. It's not a real term, but it might be one day. It might be something that we start saying. But just take salmonic action today. Hold still. Look for the opportunities. Jump on those opportunities. Don't go with the current right now. Look for ways to adjust your attitude and be positive and create, and have hope. Why not? Why not have hope that something better is coming? Those are things that you can control. And so hopefully that message sticks. I appreciate you guys being on here. Make it a giant day. Whatever that looks like. Even small steps create a giant day. And so I will see you on the next video. Thanks for all your support, guys. Make it a great day.